It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
All right, everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing a discussion video about a forum post discussing pain res, and I wanted to talk about it because it really started to, I kind of laughed at the title, and I thought you guys could find it pretty entertaining, and also we can have a discussion about the topic. So let's go ahead and give it a read. So, says disable pain res if a survivor is dead at 4 to 5 hits. Woo! Okay, let's start. Okay, so it says the problem. Frankly, the game is designed as a 4v1. That is why tunneling is so effective. It reduces the game to a 3v1 scenario in which the odds are heavily stacked against the killer, obviously. If a player is dead at 5 gens, the game is essentially a loss for survivors, which is, you know, essentially is you should say, you know, technically, or essentially, because remember, they can't directly say it is a loss because you can win, and it has happened before. But anyway, it's unproductive to give survivors insane speed, endurance, no scratch marks, etc. when survivors already can bring perks such as decisive strike, off the record, dead hard, and more. What needs to be evaluated is the 3v1 situation, especially at 4 and 5 gens, without punishing the killer player for the gameplay to the level of disrupting or limiting their player agency. Now, I want to interject because there is a part here that, at least for me as a Ghostface main, and I think a lot of people just for some reason are not taking into account, that the value of like the number at the bottom left of the screen does not always directly accurately dictate where the game is really at. Now, a good example is you can actually see on my stream. Actually, like I think it happened in like multiple matches even recently, where I can pass by 1, 2, or 3 gens that are literally 50 to 80% done, and it'll still say 5 gens, but we're already about to hear 3 gens go off because it's literally, this one's like 80%, this one's 90, this one's 50 or 60 or 70. I already understand, like, I'm about to lose 3 gens in less than a minute. Thankfully, Deadlock is there, but I already understand that I'm going to lose multiple gens. So with that being said, this is why I end up using the form of tunneling in order to keep up, because if I can create a 3v1 scenario by the time it reaches 2 gens, then I can go, okay, I'm at a good spot. I just need to try to see if I can pull something out of my back pocket here to make it work. So let's go ahead and continue. So it says the long-term solution. So it says, while a blanket gen repair speed buff for remaining survivors in a trial, which I disagree with entirely, because the gens are already fast as it is. I don't think they need more. If the right conditions are met. Now, keep in mind as well, I want to add in, if they're going to have some kind of blanket gen repair speed buff, they need to remove gen repair speed stacking. Because if you have a gen rush build scenario and you end up getting somebody out of the game, they'll complete the gens even faster. So that it really does not need to be in the game. But anyway, they say is ultimately the correct solution to tunneling, which I disagree with personally. This may be too abrasive to initially implement. And then they say in brackets, the condition of a survivor dying at 3, 4, or 5 gens is met similar to the bonuses in 2v8, which, mind you, I completely disagree that the 2v8 scenario was very good. Because the comeback mechanics, on top of the fact that they have the like 8 of them that they all can 3 body a gen, like that's not really fun or balanced at all. So that I don't really think should be there. Like unless you directly like balance it correctly, like if like say the killer's getting a lot of hooks, you know, and he isn't punished so too heavily for playing well, because that's a lot of what ends up happening. Like if your team is doing badly, which is another reason why I disagree with this idea, is that when I played 2v8 and I was forced to play those survivor matches and they weren't doing the gens, even with faster gen speed that they added in, it wouldn't matter because my teammates are still dying. So like that, like they're bad at the game, they're gonna just die. So adding in this extra gen speed doesn't really matter because of the fact that if they're just not on the objective, which they should be doing, then they're just going to lose no matter what. And we can't balance around that, because that's just knowledge that for some reason they either refuse to do or they don't understand how to do. So, and this is applicable to the low MMRs, right? Because if I load up a Survivor match right now, I'm going to have a match like that where they won't be on a gen, because my survivors are all at low MMR because I don't play it, right? So with that being stated, right, like that, having a gen speed, no, like that's not gonna solve it. And if anything, it'll only make Swift stronger, because now everyone's on gens and it's faster, as if there were 3 people on a gen essentially each time. Because think about it, right? If we're talking about gen speed as it is, right? Let's say that there's 1 to 2 people on gens at the same one. That bonus might equate to a 3rd person on a gen, therefore making it still incredibly difficult and directly destroying the whole point of the strategy. Which I think is a big thing with Survivor mains, is that when they try to add in some kind of solution, they keep missing the whole point and the purpose of why the tunneling is there. Because the fact of the matter is like it is being used strategically to get to a 3v1 scenario, because the killers simply cannot chase 4 people at the same time. Like they cannot keep everybody off the gens at the same time. That is just not physically possible. So the only way that you can get around that is either finding a weakling that doesn't really understand like what the heck they're doing, get them out of the game so that it's easier to have like split pressure in that sense. Because if you get somebody downed and there's 3 people alive, that means one other person can leave the gen, and then they have to save, and then from there that's 1 person on the gen. So it reduces the gen speed just by that metric. So there you go. Okay, so let's continue. So it says, to highlight this, many survivors will not bother to work on gens if they're already a player dead at 4 to 5, seeing it as pointless. Yet once the knowledge of evened out gen repair speeds is implemented in a match, it may encourage survivors to continue to play even with a killed teammate. Now, here's the part that's key. It may encourage. Survivors are quitting by taking an M1 at 5. Survivors are quitting because they hear the wrong terror radius they don't like. Survivors are quitting because they missed their dead hard. Survivors are quitting because they didn't get the match they like. Survivors are quitting because they didn't get any perk value. Like they're DCing and quitting, and doesn't really matter. Like they quit no matter what. So I don't think that trying to do this is going to encourage anything. I think it's just going to do the same exact thing that it does, and then it inevitably is going to buff the Swifts again, which we don't really need. and that's like the main problem. So like, this is not really a solution at all. I think this is just going to cause even more problems, therefore gutting killer even more, which we don't need. Like that's not really necessary. Like that's not needed. Like that's not the direction we should go. We should be addressing the gen speed being slower so then split hooks can be done, because you simply can't do that at all in this current gen speed. It just is not fast. Like the gens are way too fast, especially for characters that can't move quick, like Ghostface, Trapper, Skull Merchant, Pig. We're just like, these characters are not capable of going around and finding a brand new person and having to 1 hit, 2 hit, down, pick up, put on hook, look for a brand new person, 1 hit, 2 hit, chase them down, blah, blah, blah. Like you can't just do that, because you're just going to hear a bunch of gens go off. You have to pretty much, you're forced into using the strategies even more than say a Blight, because Blight can hook and then be across the map already to stop someone on a gen, and then across the map again, or whatever have you. Like that's why they're so strong. They can cut off a lot of that slowness to actually be able to create map pressure and map presence. So they say the easier solution. Okay, let's read this. It says, collectively, we should begin balancing by looking at what actually informs player gameplay and alters strengths and playstyles. Perks. No. Many perks for survivors are outright disabled once endgame begins, such as DS, OTR, and others. This is a good thing. I agree. While all gens being completed is an indication of the killer losing, when that is that moment for survivor. Typically, it is most commonly decided for the survivors when there is a player dead with multiple gens remaining. That's not exactly true. Because like, and that's kind of the disconnect when it comes to killer versus survivor when they're win condition. If the gens are done, killer is pretty much cooked unless they're like using a character that's not dog shit. By the time the gens are done, like if I'm playing Pig, Ghostface, Trapper, blah blah blah, I'm like, yeah, I'm fucked. Like that GG's. Like there's nothing I can do. Like the map presence and how long it takes to down somebody is way too long to be able to keep up at endgame. Especially when gates are opening in like 10, 6, or 15 seconds. Like that's not enough time. But survivors don't really lose until everyone's dead. Like there's still always a chance until like everybody's on the ground at the same time, or multiple people are dead. Like then I'm like, okay. Like I would argue if 2 survivors are dead and there's like 3 gens left, you're like, yeah, that's probably done. But I can't say that like, oh, if there's 3 on a 4 to 5, that means that like they're like, no, that doesn't always equate. At least from my perspective. They say it is a poor game balance to allow large gen slowdown perks to work with a player dead at 4 to 5 gens. No, I don't really agree with this. I really don't agree with this. Because a lot of like because they think about it this way, right? Like all they think about is Blight, Kaneki, blah, Nerfs, Blight, Kaneki, Nerfs, da 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 da. But then if you if you do something like this where you're like, oh well, fuck the large gen slowdowns, then that means that Ghostface, Trapper, Skull Merchant, anybody that's not A tier, all get kicked in the nuts. Like for what? Like just so I can like win another game for free that the game already handholds you for? Like that's not really smart. So I'm like, nah, that doesn't make any sense. And then they say if a player is hulling aggressively at 5 and has a kill by 4, it's currently possible to continue to have 3 pain res hooks to regress gens. Now, this also ignores the fact that you can't always get value from it. And we've also seen in videos like that we've covered with Quiet Kills and Aeronat who were running tests on the anti-tunnel. He was using Clown, right? Aeronat was using Clown. He used pain res, and there were 2 gens 99. He used pain res, one got hit, the other gen went off. Then a couple seconds later, the gen that got hit with pain res went up again. So, and then that gen got done. So I have to ask, like, why are we like, just because you have the tokens doesn't mean you can use them. Like we have to keep in mind that these hooks are RNG based. We can't just magically teleport to a hook that we want. Like usually a lot of them are across the whole universe. Like we can't use it. You know what I mean? So like that still also doesn't make any sense. So like and like my thing is, right, if we're gonna add some kind of change like this where they're like, oh fuck pain res, you're not getting that anymore, then why don't we have it so that if 2 gens jump up at the same time or something like that, or 1 gen is flying in under 30 seconds or whatever have you, some condition, disable all gen progressions, like disable toolbox, disable the you know, proof thyself, deja vu, and everything else that progresses gens as well. Like why don't we have that? You know what I mean? I think that would, if you're gonna add this, you gotta keep it equal, right? Because like if you're just gonna give oh fuck your pain res, you don't have that anymore. It's like, so what do you mean? Like, but anyway, let's continue. So it says similar to the state of certain survivor perks to disable in endgame, there should be a limit or caveat on gen regression perks to prevent them from further use if the condition of a survivor dying at 4 to 5 is met. Pain res are disabled outright. If player is playing killer in a match and has kill someone with 5, are pain res and other slowdown perks necessary to win? It's unlikely. So that just, no, that's still not how that works. Like you can still win the game at 3 with 3 alive. Like that's just inaccurate. That's completely inaccurate to say. It is possible to say that this change could encourage players to spread hooks more appropriately and shy away from tunneling playstyles. So this whole essay was just to say fuck pain res and fuck killers and you don't get to use your perks anymore and good night. And it's like, okay, but where's the compensation for a whole entire like multiples of perks just being disabled because you decided it? Like you're just getting punished for nothing. Like that doesn't make any sense. That just makes no sense. I agree with this person. Why should a killer be punished for gaining an advantage in the game? Like, I agree. Like, what? It makes no sense. Because then I'm like, okay, so then where's my base kit Grim Embrace for going for fresh hooks? Where's my base kit Pain Res? Where's my base kit Surge? Where's my base kit this? Like, if you're gonna keep like if you're gonna somehow disable my perks, where's my compensation? That's my main point. Now, I'm not even saying I use Pain Res on a regular. Like, Pain Res is garbage as it is, but the fact of the matter is like there's no reason to punish a killer for picking a perk like that. That's kind of wild. What the hell? And then look, of course, the survivor main, you know, as you can see right there. There are other ways for killers to gain advantages other than tunneling someone out at 5. But yet they never actually give direct examples of what that looks like. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They just make some shit up and then they with this crazy amount of confidence. What is a killer player who, especially like let's say Ghostface, going to be able to do it with that? How do you like as I've stated it, as you guys who have tuned into my streams, you guys see this. I'm walking past 2-3 gens 99. What the hell can I do when everyone's alive at 2 gens? Like, what the hell is Ghostface going to do? Because we don't got Surge, you know what I mean? We need 2 slowdowns for beginning and mid game, and we also need chase perks, right? So what the hell are we doing? Like, what? Okay, this person right here, perfect. Yes, sir. Okay. So this person says, this has proven time and time again to be a bad thing. Let's say hypothetically you hook a survivor twice. Now that survivor becomes immune. They can intentionally throw themselves at the killer, get in the way, and be a bother, and the killer can do nothing to stop them. Because if they do, oh well, you did the bad thing, so now you get punished, naughty killer. Which is exactly what we saw with the PTB. Like they literally exploited the changes in the PTB, but I guess we all feign ignorance the second that it's convenient for us, apparently. So anyway, they say even with the whole slugging for a long time is bad, slugging the whole team is bad. Like there are plenty of times where like a Bubba or Trickster can down the whole team because they get totally outplayed. Why should they be given another chance at that point to get back into the match when they messed up so badly that all 4 of them get down in rapid succession? I don't understand this fascination when punishing a killer for playing well and doing exactly the thing they're supposed to be doing. Now, I 100% agree with this because, mind you, Unbreakable is still in the goddamn game. People run Unbreakable and then have endurance perks attached to it. They'll run Soul Guard. They'll have Made for This. They'll have We're Gonna Live Forever or something like that. And they just use it in combination with that, and then you get everybody down, someone who gets up and then reverses all your pressure because one person had that perk. So that it's already in the game. Why are we trying to ignore the fact that Unbreakable's there? The fact that Unbreakable is a perk slot is what makes it balanced to an extent. And even then, I think it's a little too strong. So why is it that we need to make it now? Oh, we got to make this base kit. Like, for what? Like, and then never in the conversation do you see. So then also the killers get this so that they also play the way that we want. And then also we give this as the other part of it so that survivors get something too. Like, it's never about that. It's just punish killer because they exist. It's like, why are we not giving them anything? So this person says that they intentionally get in the way or playing in an aggressive manner. I have no problem slugging them on the ground for a bit but this directly ignores the whole anti-slug, right? Like, aren't you like directly adding to that, right? Because if you're agreeing that, oh, they should disable pain res and punish all killers for playing well, it's like, okay, so then why do you have no problem slugging now? You know what I mean? Like, now you're going like, this is and really you know, really backwards, because how is it that one strategy is cool or like, and then one isn't? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So this person says they specifically have no problem giving people a second chance if they feel like the game was over too quickly. But that's you, because you main survivors. So you feel like, okay, I'm going to give everyone a second chance because I would do that for myself. But a lot of us play killer. We just want to win our game and move on. So that's a you thing. That's not an everyone thing. So, oh, this person, perfect. This is exactly what I said. They said, also, no, you can't slug them because we already determined we don't like that. And survivors should be able to just pick themselves up, remember? So should killers get one too? Maybe if the survivors pop a gen in the first phase for the hook, they all get injured? Or maybe they all get a repair speed penalty. Should they also get punished for playing too well? Exactly. And that's my problem with that conversation, right? Because, oh, the killer this, the killer that, they shouldn't be able to do this, they shouldn't be able to do that. But then what happened to the survivors? How come they can just get up for free, get free gen speed? Oh, you can't do gens no more. You can't hit the gens killer. Oh, But then what about the survivors doing well? They pop gens in a single chase. Oh, 2-3 gens 99 at the same time. Oh, that's fine. Oh, okay. What are we talking about? Like, it does, like, there's a massive disconnect there. So this person right here also says, what happens when 2 to 3 gens are popped in the first chase? Will the remaining gens be blocked until the killer gets 2 hooks on each survivor to address gen speeds? Exactly. But if that gets suggested, oh, we don't like that, right? It's like, come on now. This person says, I'm sorry, but this sort of thing was already tested 2 PTBs ago. Gen defense is already weak because you must win your chases. Right there. Let me say it again. You must win your chases to get in any value in any gen regression perk. There it is. There it is. I would agree if there wasn't so many weaker killers in the game. Trapper, Ghostface, Skull Merchant. I'm not gonna say twins because I don't agree with that part, but so this may just make tunneling worse. My idea for an anti-tunnel is to rework how survivors are sacrificed, and then they kind of go off about that, which I'm not really gonna get into all of that, but yeah, I also agree with that twins isn't weak at all. Like, they're actually considered an S tier. It's just because they're so buggy that oh man, yeah, like with that it's like, nah. This person says, like, with their idea, like, they wanted it to be completely random, but that's impossible in a video game. Like, there's going to be patterns, like, in every thing, because, like, you have to design it. Like, it can't be purely random. And if it is purely random, it might cause, like, issues, you know, because like, they might spawn the cage, like, in the wrong place, and it might, like, you know, cause, like, the game to just absolutely break. So we don't want that to happen. So I wouldn't say that. But I do agree, like, the most of the killers in the game are in fact weaker. Number one reason killers tunnel is gen speeds. The way of doing it doesn't hurt the other side. But yeah, and this person is good. It makes a good point too. A killer who practices to win in a fight and then gets punished for doing so in real life is a flawed game system. Would you ask someone who just knocked you out to go easy on you in a boxing match? And this person as well, that's fine as long as they get some compensation for when 2+ gens pops in the first chase. I want all gen speeds to reduce by 50% until I get a kill, thank you. Happy to spread those hooks, not tunnel or slug if you slow my gens down. Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Because, like, if you're gonna say fuck your pain res, then I'm like, okay, well then fuck your gen speed. Like, why do I have to get it? Like, you know? I'm just saying. Oh, okay, this person says, that's a good way to get a killer to slug in a 3v1, just saying. And it is extremely rare for a killer to have a kill with 4 gens up. Survivors must be slacking pretty hard just messing around. There's no way for a killer to know that. Most of the time you get 1 or 2 gens popping in the first hook. That doesn't apply to blightners, etc. Yes, that is so true. It's so true. We've seen that even recently, like I've said. Like, even if the number says 5, we have ears. We walk past gens. We have eyes. We look at the gen. 80, 90% done. You're like, yo, there's like 2 or 3 of them almost done. Like, what the hell am I gonna do? So I'm just saying. So let's see here. So it says, this person says, I don't think it's worth pointing out that the punishment the killer receives here is that they gain slightly less of a huge advantage compared to live servers. It's not even resetting the killer player to neutral. They lose access to the remaining pain res tokens. In exchange, gain the ability to have to halt generator speed entirely through basic gameplay alone, which is not really true. You're saying you're halting gens repair. Like, no, you're not. Like, it, 1 less person on a gen. Congratulations. Like, there's still going to be 2 people on 2 separate gens. They're still gonna get the same gen speed. It's not really that crazy. And they, like, sure, it's like somewhat of a huge advantage, but it doesn't mean you're gonna lose the game. So I just disagree with that. Because there are people that do win against it. Like, if they don't have the right 3 gen or something like that, that could also lead to impossible situations where you have to, like, the killer's forced to have to go walking around the map. And if they're not, like, a Wesker Blight nurse with any mobility, they're just kind of cooked. This person says, if you think that pain res is truly a healthy perk that promotes spreading hooks, and it should be fine to disable it when used for other purposes because it's 10 times stronger. No, that doesn't work like that. It I don't know why in their minds they think that every single hook is a scourge or something that you can always get pain res value. You can't. The fact that there's RNG attached to pain res makes it already shitty. And most killers can't really use it that effectively because of the lack of mobility. Because you got to get it down quickly enough for 20% to really make an impact. If you're just slow as shit and your chases are way more difficult because of it, you're not going to get that much value. This is just like old ruin, at least until the new update dropped. I'm not trying to lose a perk slot because survivors are misplaying. That's their own fault for dying that early. If you're not doing gens, don't expect the killer to get punished. You're getting punished for not doing the objective. And that's my thing, right? Like, why is it that the killer gets punished constantly for making one single mistake, yet survivors can make multiple and still win? Like, why are they trying to constantly remove all the downsides of making a mistake? Like, that the entire reason a misplay or a mistake is made is because of lack of knowledge, or you just make a mistake and then you learn from it. That's how, you know, using your brain fucking works. But I guess they don't want to do that. So this person says plenty of survivor perks and mechanics get disabled if survivors are doing well. But I'm like, so what? Like, you're gonna oh wow, DS is removed. Okay. Like, I don't think there's any perks that survivors use that are disabled when gens are done. I'm saying, like, in terms of like the most used perks in the game, because there's probably one random perk we've never heard of that it's like, oh yeah, that deactivates when the gen gets done. But the fact of the matter is, the perks that are the most meta, right? Exhaustion perks, gen progression perks, things like that, those things are not deactivated when gens are done. They're not, right? Think about deja vu, for example, right? Think about sprint burst. These perks are both extremely meta and not disabled when gens are done, right? Ghost notes, vigil, dramaturgy, finesse, like, these are not perks that are disabled when gens are done. They're not meta. They're not things that people use. Like, what are we talking about? So this person says, I was hard tunneled at 5 by 3 separate killers, which we don't have any proof of that, so I'm not going to take that into account. They said it was clearly how they intended to play, and it says, so the perks were bam. So they had a vault build, Spirit Fury Enduring. So this was more like a chase build, and this person had like just I think this person might have been new or something. I don't know. Like, this build doesn't look like it's remotely viable. But I understand it's a survivor main just kind of crying about it again. Like, you know, because these, mind you, as well. And here's the key part here. They want to go, I was hard tone at 5, and then look at what they brought, bro. Bamboozle, like chase build, and then like anti-heal build. They have no slowdown. So what the hell did you expect them to goddamn do to get a goddamn kill? They have no way to slow the game down. They have to kill someone fast. Like, are we being so for real? And it's crazy to me that, like, a killer uses strategy, therefore they're like, oh, they're hard tunneling, oh, like, it's like, okay, but these perks are all chase. Like, what? Like, corrupt deactivates the second you get it down. The rest of these are chase, and this was anti-heal. Like, huh? Huh? So I'm just saying, man. It's a lot of, like, they just do a lot of complaining for no reason. This person says, I'm impressed that you had at least 2 states with opportunity to be on hook for 70 seconds each, had a total of 30 seconds of endurance, 2 opportunities for chases. Killers had the cheapest and primitive builds possible. 2 of the killers from the roster are primitive and low tier, and none of your teammates were able to complete 90-second gens of 0 pressure. And all this happened 3 times in one day. Your teammates either farmed or something really funny happened here. I gotta say, like, that's kind of a good point, bro. I gotta say, that's kind of valid, bro. That's kind of valid. That's kind of valid, bro. Let me look at this. Okay, I don't know why they're like showing that. That's wild. That's such a valid ass point. Yeah. And I go, I don't know what this implication is supposed to be. Like, did you not read what the fuck they said? Jesus Christ. Oh my god, that was hilarious. Holy shit, that was funny. Like, are we being so for real, brother? So, ghoul match, what perks, like, which perk did he, like, which one did he have? Badham hooks on street, proxy hold himself to hook. I was unhooked. Victoria had zero caution about unhooking me, so therefore your teammate was the problem. So stop blaming Kaneki. Then it says that, and mind you, they're running a gen build essentially with like random bullshit. Then this was demo apparently. Hawkins, which I don't know which build that is. I don't know if it's like it's supposed to be an order. Like, first of all, I don't know why Keneki's running a vault build. Secondly, Spirit Fury Enduring and all this other bullshit for a demo, which, mind you, like, bro, like, has a chase build, so that's he, like, what else are you supposed to do to get kills if the gens are flying? And then if the third, like, let's look at this third one. Same bullshit. Legion. And then this Legion only got a 2k. So, and you know, the consistent thing that we're seeing here is that they keep dying. So it sounds like to me that there might be a bit of a skill issue, considering that the duration is about 4 minutes. Also taking into account that if the Legion is running this build, you're like a Legion? Like, bro didn't even have, like, bro doesn't even have like anything for chase. Like, bro is running an M1 killer with no chase, no nothing. Like, what? Like, bro, to me that just sounds like a skill issue, bro. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. So they say I was unhooked at the Legion's face repeatedly, stood there and waited so they could hit me the moment I got unhooked. So that extra endurance and haste did me zero good. So that means that it's a skill problem because you have 15 seconds of haste, 15 seconds of endurance. You could literally use that to run somewhere else. Vault with live, you have live, vault somewhere else and keep on flying because you literally are going against an M1 fucking killer. Are we being so for real? Stop it, bro. Like, what are you doing? The fuck? I was in a duo. Okay. Like, then, like, what the fuck? I can't control randoms and hooking me. Exactly. So why is it the killer's fault if your teammates are ass? Like, what are we talking about? Yo, notice how they say I can't control randoms, but it's the killer's fault. Like, huh? Like, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. I'd love to never play with another random again, but I'm afraid my weird hours and everyone hating this game has shrunk my friend pool, so I had to deal with both. I don't know what the fuck Scuzzy is. An idiot teammates, not a great looper. So, exactly, I'm not a great looper. So then why are you bitching about the killers then? Like, oh, it's pain res, that's the problem. Like, nobody had pain res. Like, it's tunneling, that's it. And it's like, but you just said yourself you're literally not a great looper. You're bad. Like, what? Like, are we being so for real? Like, come on now, bro. The fuck? It's like, dude, come on now. And this person says, I didn't even ask for what the killers are doing, the survivors. And if they had 4 minutes each match and each of them ended for you at 5, clearly all you were meant to die anyway. Nothing about killer strategy here. They farmed you and made you go next. If that kind of servers and gameplay are and on NAR, I'm not surprised you having high kill rates yourself. Killers just don't care about idiotic teammates, your level looping, as much as a survivor doesn't care about killer pick or nice 8 hooking or skillful way of play. If they want to play, they play the game. They aren't a charity shop or therapist to help with skill and bad teammate work, unlucky circumstances from the other side. Yeah, maybe that is something that defines skill and what's so unfun for you. The only thing I see is this killer are actually better because they did something in your team. Nothing. They don't play along with others' issues, and that's why you dislike them so much. They don't solve or compensate troubles behavior accumulated for years. This is exactly my goddamn point when discussing this topic. It's like they want to blame the killer, blame the killer, blame the killer. I'm like, okay, but like, it's not the killer's goddamn fault. You just said you're bad at looping. You just said your friend group has shrunk for playing the game because the game's ass. What does that tell you? It's a you problem and a behavior problem. Not the killer didn't do, was just playing the fucking game. He didn't even have, none of them had slowdown. Like, what the fuck? So I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here. Appreciate you guys watching if you made it this far. And I'm just going to sort of pass it on to you guys. What do you guys think about this topic? What is your thoughts? And let me know what you think in the comment section. Consider supporting the channel with the links in the description by becoming a member. You can also join the Patreon to have access to exclusive content and perks and things like that. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay tuned for my members at the end of every video. Well, I wanted to go ahead and take some time out to thank all my members from Patreon with Crow King 101, my YouTube members, Majora Jeff, Endire, Evil Peachy YT, Zero Mocker, Christian, Hexdev, and Crow Vader, and for my Twitch subscribers, Cake is the Road, Danica 2002, Final Girl _ Bunny, Acklefin, Chili Cinderace, Zero Mocker, Ginsburg, Johns 117 _ Lovely Ghost TTV, Jar TTV, Zazabu, and Crow Vader. Just wanted to thank you guys. And if you also want to have your name read off at the end of every video, make sure you join on one of these platforms to get one of those perks, as well as the other perks you get. So appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much.